All right, good morning, everybody. Let's quickly do our trade plan here. So looking at last night, I was saying holding above 870, we're looking for 81, which did just get tapped like to the tick. And then our next target would be around like 919, which is pretty far away. We don't really have any value levels in between. We do have a couple of daily highs. So if you want to take these daily highs around like 900, you could. There's a bunch of daily highs in this area, like 4 daily highs, but no value. So our next value is basically the all-time high value around 919 and 950. So what we can do is we can update. We can just raise our target. We'll leave the 70 alone. We'll raise our target to, let's say, I think it was 900. Let me see. Yeah, 900. And then 19. Then we can raise this up a level as well. So we can say 70. Going down to 43. And the next level would be basically the low of day. So that would be 17. The day shape is still kind of a D shape, possibly turning into like a capital B. So you're kind of like neutral, maybe a little bullish. You have a lot of overlapping value. It's just starting to pressure that upper overlap. Same thing on NQ. You have a lot of overlapping value, but obviously it is slightly bullish because you're kind of hanging out towards the high of that range. So holding above 679, we're looking for 750 and 876. Holding below 539, which is the value low, we're going to look for... Actually, we can raise this up. That's a little far away. We will say 539 and 416. But yeah, same thing here. Just kind of have that D shape that is seeing a breakout, possibly turning into more of a capital B. We just really need to hold above this value high of yesterday. If it does not hold above that, it's looking for a value retrace back down into that overlap. Right now, not seeing that momentum you would like to see. Might be pulling back to VWAP, possibly pulling back to yesterday's value as well. Here is VWAP on NQ. Keep an eye on that. If it keeps selling, might pull ES down to VWAP as well. Excuse me, guys. I almost have my voice back. Might be a couple more days. Should be back to normal next week, hopefully. Good morning, Leo. Good morning, Patriot Music. Tachi, Ordinary. Pot, Jose, Morris, Banana. Backpack, and Scott. I can't believe YouTube is still doing that stupid username thing. Good morning, Marcel, Future, Igor, Ken. Good morning, AT, Greg, Larry. Good morning, Ike, Vanquish, Lubomir, Peter. Good morning, Mr. B, Roma, Nitro. Midget, not sure what you're talking about. Ganesh, Some Daddy, Mick, Orion, Marcel, Trevor, Builds, Estevan. Good morning, everybody. Appreciate you guys. Okay, here is VWAP for ES. Keep an eye on this. Pretty nasty sell-off here, going back into yesterday's value. We are nearly finishing that retrace already, so keep an eye on that value low. On NASDAQ, on ES, you're only about halfway. NASDAQ, about finished. ES, you're around the POC. That would go back down to 843. One-minute pivots on this bounce right here because the bounce was so aggressive. Also protecting the 30-minute trail there. 30-minute trail is 62, so almost exactly where that bottom is. Is the Momo Monday still a thing? Yeah, I'm going to bring it back now that the news series is over. I don't know if we'll start it back next week or the week after. But yes, I do want to bring that back. So possibly next Monday, maybe the Monday after. Good morning, Ram. Appreciate you guys being here. If you guys enjoy the streams or the videos, hit that like button. Be sure to subscribe. It does help a lot on YouTube. I'm not doing the raffle tomorrow. That's like the cutoff day for you guys to send me your tickets. I'm most likely, most likely going to be pulling it on Saturday or Sunday. I haven't finished sending out all the confirmations yet. I'm probably going to pull it on Sunday, so I can have all the confirmations finished by either tonight or tomorrow. And then if there's a problem with like the confirmation, like maybe I missed some tickets or something, you guys will have Saturday and then a little bit of Sunday to send me the correction. And then like Sunday, probably evening, Sunday night, I'll do the final pull. So obviously the big winner is going to win the laptop. And then I'm going to pull probably like 2 to 4 Discord winners as well. And then I'm going to pull probably like 4 or 5 Apex winners. So most of you guys are going to win something. But there's only going to be one laptop winner. I don't know how long it's going to take for the laptop to get to you guys. It's going to depend on whoever wins. If you're in the States, it will probably take like less than a week. But I have no idea how long it will take for international. Just make sure you guys go watch like any of the 5 videos. I talk about the exact giveaway in the first like 5 minutes of all those videos in the Becoming an Apex Trader series. So just check that out. Make sure you follow the instructions exactly. And you should be good. Okay, right now we have a failure to rotate because you're bouncing off the... Well, this is mostly for NASDAQ because you didn't really bounce off the value low on ES. You did on today's profile, but not on the prior profile. So you're trying to bounce back into an upper rotation, but you're selling a little bit early here. And there you go, big sell coming in. Block trade, 1,200 contracts at 66. Confirming that failure to rotate. By the way, we had unemployment this morning, 191 over 219, so lower than expectations. And that's really it for today. Little bit of absorption. You have a lot of bearish delta coming in on the low here. Also, you could say it's exhaustion as well because the volume is falling off rapidly. So these sellers are kind of being absorbed. These are kind of being exhausted. These aren't exactly absorbed because they are technically getting some profit. But if it bounces very quickly back into them, then they are trapped. Yeah, Martin, sometimes in the mornings, TradingView is very slow. It's fine if you leave your charts alone, but if you're clicking around your charts, like changing time frames and whatnot, it can be very slow. Try not to click around your charts too much, which is funny, because that's when you want to click around your charts. Around the open. Like the first, 5 or 10 minutes, it's pretty laggy. It's not every single day, but days that are pretty fast on the open. You can use it with NinjaTrader. You can technically use it with Addis, but it's like it's not a simple plugin. You got to do a few things to get it connected. If you want to use Addis, you need to use their Rhythmic accounts. You're currently looking at an Apex account right now. So this is using their Rhythmic data. Yeah, we're trying to break out of overlapping value, and it's just not liking it. It's just coming back to the overlap. So right now we are possibly rotating not just today, but possibly yesterday as well. If it loses the value low here, it's looking for 43. If it protects this value low and these overnight lows, then you're just rotating. You're just rotating today's profile, ignoring yesterday. When you have an inside day like this, when you have an inside day like this, it's hard to tell which day it's respecting, the current day or the prior day. You got to pay attention to when you're testing the actual value levels. Now with NASDAQ, it's pretty obvious. It's respecting yesterday a little bit more because we failed the break above the value high of yesterday, and then we retraced back into the value low. There is no playbook trade happening right now, so I can't give you like a playbook setup. You would have to watch my playbook series. The only playbook trade that you could say that is possibly happening, which is already kind of played out, was the retrace that I just went over. So you failed to gain value on the high. You started a value retrace, so the entry is obviously the value retrace. And then you don't know if you're retracing today or retracing yesterday. So both of these could be targets. And then obviously your stop would be above the prior high, if possible, if it's not too far away. But that's the only like playbook trade that could be happening so far. You could argue that it might be a bear flag into VWAP because you had a sell-off and then you bounced back into VWAP, so you could have sold VWAP as well. But the VWAP trade is just the late entry of the retrace trade. So if you're taking the proper trade, it was the retrace. If you were too late on the retrace, then it was the VWAP trade. Those are all manually drawn. You can get the indicator to do it, but I like manually drawing them. You could have an indicator like this that just draws them all out. Speaking of value retrace, we're nearly in a weekly value retrace. So this is the weekly profile. So if we stay below 50 for quite a while, they're looking to retrace back down to 21. You said Apex is doing something new with their accounts, 60% off lifetime, etc. No, I didn't see that. They put out an email or something? Oh, I see. They put out a new email. Yeah, I'll take a look. I don't see in the email what you're referring to about the what do you say, lifetime? It looks like it's just a standard sale. It's just 60% off. Yeah, 60% off recurring first month. lifetime fees are only $6, so that's the cheapest lifetime fee I think I've ever seen. The one before that was like $40, I believe. Yeah, so it looks like it's just a 60% off sale, and the lifetime fees are they're damn near free. They're only $6. Yeah, it's the same one I saw. I saw that on the email. Sorry guys, I'm still recovering a little bit. My throat is a little shot. Here's the point of origin on that 55 level. Good morning, Joan. Any single prints below? I believe we have a couple. Let me see. Yeah, we have some back here from Tuesday, but they're pretty far away. You have a poor low on Monday. That goes down to like 810. Yeah, reminder guys, if you guys do sign up for any new accounts on that sale they just announced, be sure to send those to me as soon as possible. Just use code BREW on checkout and be sure to send those to giveaway period dejabrewtrading@gmail.com for the laptop giveaway. Like I said, just watch any of those 5 videos, just follow the details in the beginning, you'll be good to go. After this big series and all these giveaways are over, we're going to do some giveaways here and there. We'll do some Apex account giveaways like we used to, but we're not going to do big stuff like this for a while. If you guys have watched my channel for a bit, you know that I do my series like this like once or twice a year, we do a big series and then we kind of just do little series for the rest of the year. We're going to take a little break for a bit, do some short form. Keep it on the value low. You're almost done with that retrace. So this would be the point where if it bounced here, I don't know if I would call it exactly an incomplete auction because most of it is overlapping. Typically with an incomplete auction, you want to build value outside of it and then come back and then fail. So this failure right here, like that bottom portion, I wouldn't quite call that an incomplete auction, but it's kind of the same idea. If it bounces here, it's kind of a failure to retrace, which could be a bit bullish. That's more of a macro sense, though. Come on, Romy. Come on, Timmer. Right now, you're just in a short-term downtrend that's trying to finish that retrace, but they are possibly failing to retrace. It's bouncing a little bit early. Could be a very small bull div on the 1 minute delta. We've seen this pattern a lot recently. We talked about this a lot the last, like, maybe 2-3 weeks ago. When we were talking about the morning would have like a strong move in one direction, but then it would instantly flip. And we kind of saw that here. Strong move up and then flipped. This was a bit early. It did it before the open. But same idea. Had a strong move and then right into the open, flipped it. Good morning, XP. Still holding the EMAs, not really paying attention to this small divergence here. Possibly wants to finish that rotation. Good morning, LDM. Yeah, you can see how much the sellers are getting stuck down here because the POC has shifted basically to low of day. But look at where price is. It's already bouncing off that shift. Yeah, the Apex deal's not bad. Like I said, this is the lowest lifetime fee I've ever seen. It's damn near free. No, I don't trade only prop firms. I have a main account that I actually trade more in than my prop accounts. I look at my prop accounts as like side accounts. No, I wouldn't say it's considered a rollover bottom. I'd say it's more like a downward accumulation. The opposite of a vertical distribution. Where it's going lower, but it's doing it in a very choppy way. Why don't I consider levels below 919? What do you mean? Don't consider levels below there. What do you mean? I have plenty of old levels on my chart. I have a million of them. Many people think I have too many levels. Check the volume profile below 919. I still, once again, I don't know what you're saying. My trade plan has levels below 919. We're actually hitting one of our targets right now. I might just be misunderstanding, I don't know, but... Little bit of a 30-minute sweep here, sweeping that low by a couple of points. If we do somehow break this 24, just keep an eye on VWAP. Possibly a second bear flag into VWAP. Yeah, I just don't know what you're saying, man. If you can clarify what you're saying. I might just be misunderstanding it. But you asked about levels below 919. I showed you levels below 919. Just rephrase your question. I'll see if I can understand. If anyone in chat knows what he's talking about, you can help out. I just don't know. This is known as market profile. I've got a couple videos that go pretty in depth. There's one called How to Trade Market Profile. And there's a newer video that I just put out. It's the 4th video in the Becoming an Apex Trader series, which covers volume profile and market profile. There are profiles under the day that formed value low 919. Let me see. For some reason, I missed them. Below 919. Are you talking about like these old levels? So all the levels that are below 919, like in this like gap, have already been tested. So we have one level here at 881 that has not been tested. It kind of has, but it's mostly like pre-market. And then below that, this has been tested. Excuse me. This has been tested. That's been tested. That's been tested. They've all kind of been tested already. So I think you're referring to like this value zone. And the only level that hasn't realistically been tested in my eyes is the 81 level. So hopefully that answers your question. And funny enough, that has been tested. It was tested like to the tick. That was today's high. That was our initial target if you guys took my trade plan from last night. And I talk about that in my, I believe that same video. The Becoming an Apex Trader, the 4th video. I think I talk about how I find my levels and when they're deleted, when they're not deleted. Stuff like that. It's pretty rare that I miss levels. I do this like every day where I'm finding the levels day by day. It's not like I'm going back and then finding the levels. I'm finding them like on the day that it's forming the level. And then when it gets tested, I just delete it. So it's hard for me to miss the levels because I'm drawing them on the actual day. So like yesterday I drew these levels, or today I drew them. So once today ends, I go back and I delete them. So right now, when today is over, I'm going to delete this level. I'm not going to delete this one because it hasn't been tested yet. And I'm probably going to delete this one. But if that is the only test of that level where it's like an exact tick, I'm going to leave it there. I usually like to see a little bit of value trading around that level. So like this one's done. But this one only had a single tick. So right now, this would stay, this is getting deleted. Same thing that we did for the whole week here. All these levels are gone. Because they've all been tested. But yeah, like I said, if you guys want to learn more about that, just watch my 4th video in the Apex video. If you guys are new here, be sure to check out that series, Becoming an Apex Trader. It's not just about like the Apex prop firm. I was just doing a play on words because we were doing Apex giveaways during the giveaway, or during the series, I mean. That series is covering pretty much every topic that I talk about on the live stream. By the way, keep an eye on VWAP here. Possibly a bear flag in a VWAP, which, by the way, is also in the series. So pretty much anything you hear me talk about on the stream, if you guys are confused about it, I most likely, like a 99% chance, talk about it in that series. So highly, highly recommend watching that. It's possibly the most in-depth series that I've put on the channel. The volume profile video is definitely the most in-depth video that I've put on the channel. No, I use 70%. I use 70% for my volume profile. Keep an eye on VWAP here. Excuse me. Yeah, if you're not a big indicator person, you could get away with like volume profile, maybe slap VWAP on there. And you could probably make a system out of just that. Take it a step further and um, do like a little bit of order flow stuff. That's kind of why volume profile is people like it so much. It's very logical. You don't need a million indicators for it. Testing that VWAP here. So right now we are a bear flag and a VWAP. Unfortunately, this one's not really offering you a great trade because the prior low is basically already touching VWAP. So the bear flag and the VWAP trade did play out. Like I said, just wasn't really offering you a whole lot. And now this is where you would actually get some value out of it. You would have to hold a runner. So is that runner going to be protected for quite a while? Keep an eye on the ADMA, the most aggressive average. And we'll see if it holds. And here finally is that value low of yesterday, finishing that retrace into 43. They did pick a bad time to push this down because watch the 30-minute close. It might create single prints going back to 49 to 50. Looks like they are repairing that potential single print zone. So far, it just looks like a liquidity hunt. They kind of swept that low, basically bouncing damn near to the tick off that value low, a little bit early. Within our margin of error, only bounced by like a point early. Yeah, it's very common. You have to be careful, which is why in my trade plan I talked about how this is mostly overlapping value and it's mostly neutral. You have to be careful taking like one directional breakout moves when you're in a market like this. Like, look at how choppy we are. These one directional moves are coming back pretty much every single time. It's just the macro environment. And it's because we're at a very significant point, right? We're testing this macro high right here, which led to a significant sell-off. This led to a 400-point sell-off. So they just don't know if they have enough to put in a higher high here. Until the rate decision? Yeah, when is that? Is it next week or the week after? I believe it's next week. Yeah, it's on the 10th. Keep it on the session VWAP. Want Miko? The Discord's not mostly for content. Most of my content is available for free on YouTube. There is some content in Discord that is unique to Discord, but that's not the main reason of it. The Discord is mostly just an extension of the live stream going until the end of the day. And it also includes pretty much anything I've ever made. So, like all my indicators, it includes tutoring, etc. But yeah, it's not like a content database. Most of that is available for free. It's mostly for the extension of the live stream, the indicators, and the tutoring. And I also post trade plans throughout the day, and I post in the analysis channel for people that can't be in voice chat any major changes to our trade plans, if targets are being hit, if we need to extend targets. So here is the cash rotation going back to the value high. The full session rotation is pretty much the same. I'd say around 68 to 70. Still just overlapping value, no change. Basically the same system we've used for the past 2 weeks, week and a half. Breakouts just not being respected. The two VWAPs are pretty much the same, they just take into account different data. One is much longer, one is only taking today, like taking the cash. So one takes the full session, one takes the open from 9:30. You treat them exactly the same, they're just like different EMAs, basically. Same thought process. If you're looking for exact setups, I would watch my playbook series. It's a playlist on YouTube. I talk a little bit about them in the Becoming an Apex Trader series as well. So this is about where you would want to see the sellers coming back in. So around like 68 to I'd say like 75 at the highest. And then going right back down to either today's value low or yesterday's value low. If we are finally breaking this overlap, you would need significant volume trading above 75. So as expected, you are seeing the sell pressure come in. It's just rotating back down, nothing crazy. It is doing it pretty fast, I will say. The delta's coming in pretty fast. Very red tape. Keep an eye on that value low around 50. Maybe like 47 to 52. Yeah, no problem, Miko. Keep an eye on the value lows. Here we are coming up on that full retrace. It has obviously hit today's value low. So that one is done. But if it is looking for yesterday, it still has a little bit left. So far, it does look like they might be respecting today because they're not able to hold anything below 55. NASDAQ, basically the same story, failed the value high, coming back down to the value low. Now this one, they're basically the same level. The value low of today and yesterday. So that would be around 550, 540. Somewhere around there. Delta's still nuking quite a bit on NASDAQ, mostly from block trades. But look at the difference on ES. We're already low of day on NQ Delta, but we still have a ways down on ES. You can see the slight bearish bias today because it's one of those days where the open is the absolute high of day. So this typically happens when a sell-off was happening pre-market and we opened up already inside of a sell-off and you just never reclaimed that open. And that was exactly what happened today, right? We had this sell-off starting up here, which started around like 9:10 to 9:15, which is about 15 minutes before the open. And then obviously we just continued that sell-off. So yes, we are rotating. Yes, we are for the most part neutral, but there is a slight bearish bias. As you can see, we failed VWAP multiple times. The sell-off is a bit faster than the move back up. The delta is bearish. So if anybody is going to break out of balance, the likelihood that it's the bears actually holding outside of balance is a bit higher than the buyers. We're outside of value on NASDAQ. If it continues, we're basically retracing that lower tail of yesterday. We're not outside of value yet on ES, only today's value. If it does hold below yesterday's value low, then the same thing I said on NASDAQ. You're retracing that lower tail, which had pretty decent buy pressure because, as you can see, it's not just yesterday. It's pretty much every single day in this range. You are getting significant buyers. You are seeing a bit of absorption here of the sellers, which is very typical because you are trying to rotate back to the upside here. They don't want to allow them to stay outside of value. Basically, when you're watching these boring rotations and it's kind of just doing the same thing over and over and over again, the biggest thing you're paying attention to is when it stops doing that, right? I talk about this a lot in the fourth video in the new series about how we're not really paying attention to what exactly is happening. We're watching what is supposed to be happening, and is that actually happening? So like right now, it's supposed to be going up, right? It's supposed to be rotating back through VWAP very easily. It's supposed to be going back to the value high very easily. So you start to pay a lot of attention when it stops doing that. It starts selling VWAP, or it starts selling early before making it to that value high. So like right now, this absorption, that's nothing out of the ordinary. That was supposed to happen. The sellers were supposed to get stuck on the value low. It's supposed to push up. It might see a little bit of sell pressure at VWAP, but it should not hang out at VWAP, and it should not reject VWAP. It should be breaking through it fairly easily. Kind of like on the way down here, it broke through VWAP very easily. It retested it like 1 or 2 times and then sold. Like right here, this was a problem because we were supposed to be rotating back up. Everything was looking okay. You had the absorption on the value low, very normal. You had the pushback in the VWAP, very normal. But it failed VWAP instantly. It tapped it and then sold. So that was a break of rotation. That was a break of balance. They were trying to send it into a downtrend. Now, obviously, that downtrend did not work. They instantly got swept. So once it's swept, it goes back into the normal, right? Go back to the value high. It did. Go back to the value low. It did. So now we're back into going back into the value high. So now we're just basically watching and seeing, does it respect VWAP or does it quickly just break right through it? Could be a bulldog forming. We'd have to see if it's a good variation going through VWAP, but a bulldog in this case doesn't really matter because we're going up anyway. It's already in that rotation. Yeah, I'm actually not sure. I don't do any drawings on Trade-of-8. I don't really use Trade-of-8 for a whole lot of charting. It's mostly just for entering orders. If I remember correctly, I know you can like right-click the drawings and like make them global, I believe, but I don't know how to like manually set it up so it does it every time. I'm guessing it's somewhere in the toolbar, but I'm not sure. We are stalling on VWAP a little bit here. So keep an eye on these EMAs. A good thing to use when you are rotating, and this usually only works when the rotations are fairly spread out. It's not going to work if the rotation is like 5 points. But one thing you can use is when you're rotating from like the value low to the value high, they should be respecting those EMAs on the shortest time frame, right? On like the 1 minute. It should be breaking them as it's going back into the other direction. And then as it's rotating from the value low to the value high, it should be respecting that basically throughout that rotation. If it breaks it a little bit, it's okay because it's a choppy day anyway. But you don't want to start seeing like lower highs, lower lows going against those EMAs. So like right here, we're losing the 24. This is probably the lowest I would allow it to go. If it goes below this more and like starts to develop like a low down here, then it's obviously invalidated those EMAs. So like right now, it kind of looks like a bear flag in the VWAP where it's targeting that prior low. And it wants to get that prior low in like one smooth motion back down. So back down to like 47, maybe 50. Blood, if you signed into your account and put the Black Friday code into your plan, then it will use it. It's not automatic. You have to like put it into your account. So if you haven't done that, just go to the website. There's a sign in at the top or at the bottom. And then you can apply the code to your plan. If you already had the Black Friday code, excuse me, from last year, I don't remember if that one was recurring on the indicator, so you'd have to check on that. If it was recurring, it will still say you have a code on there. If it's not recurring, it should take the code off. Yeah, there should be a place for you to add the code on top of your existing plan. If you can't find it, just send me a message in Discord, and I can manually take a look at your account. Okay, so like I was saying earlier, that was about the lowest I would allow that to go before that becomes like a big problem for this rotation. If it breaks through VWAP very cleanly on this attempt, I would say you're still in rotation. If it fails VWAP again, then you're still in the bear flag in the VWAP. But alright guys, I'm going to call it there. If you guys are in Discord, I will be streaming in there for the rest of the day. If you guys are not in Discord, I will be back tomorrow, same time as always. If you guys want to support the channel, you can hit that like button. You can subscribe on YouTube as well. If you guys would like to support further, there is a code on Apex. You can use code BREW, B-R-E-W. They just announced a pretty big sale. It's only 60% off, but their paid fees are only $6. So if you pass that account, it's only a $6 activation fee for the paid accounts. So just take a look at that email they sent out. There's a lot of benefits on that sale. But if you guys do want to support, just use code BREW. And be sure we are doing the laptop giveaway this weekend. So make sure to follow the details on how to get entered in that laptop giveaway. Just watch any of my Becoming an Apex Trader videos. We talk about the giveaway in the first like 5 minutes of every video. So just follow those details. If you guys are buying those new Apex accounts, just be sure to send those over before Friday. Or at least Friday at the latest. But alright guys, I'll see you in Discord. If you're not in Discord, enjoy the rest of your day. And we'll catch you guys tomorrow morning. Peace everybody.